Hello, writers. I wanted to just take a couple of minutes and walk you through how to navigate the class. So right now I'm on course home, and that's where you're going to start. So the first thing you want to do in all of your classes is just go to your course overview and introduction and read through that. So I just want to kind of point out, because sometimes students miss this, there is a little arrow up at the corner and there'll be multiple pages on each of these. So this is going to tell you just a lot about the class and what you're going to be expected to do in it. So after you go through the course overview, then go to the week 1 and read through all of the pages there and all of the information, and that will take you to your first assignment, which is the discussion board. But some of the classes, sometimes things get glitchy and it doesn't connect there. So I always suggest to students that they go up to discussions here and they just kind of scroll down and go to the week that they're in. So this is our first week discussion. So this has the information here on what you're going to do. In all of your classes, you're going to want to post your introduction before midnight on Sunday, because that is how the school knows that you're active in the class and they don't drop you from the class. So, just read through the information here and the instructions and then write your introduction here. Just remember, in all classes, it's a good idea to always go a little bit above and beyond. If it looks like you're just doing the absolute minimum, that's not really something that teachers like to see. So if you kind of put in just a little bit of extra effort, and remember, I think every class I teach, I know you have to respond to at least 2 of your classmates each week. You can respond more, you can have a back and forth discussion, but you want to respond with substantial posts to at least 2 of your classmates each week, and try to focus on, with the exception of the introduction where you're going to kind of talk about whatever the person says, try to focus on whether or not they did the assignment. Focus on the assignment itself, where not a lot of, busy little talk or whatever, small talk and stuff. If you have questions for me, this is the best place to ask them, right here. And so this has, every week you'll go to your different discussion. You can also contact me by clicking this up here and writing a message here, or you can send me an email, but the school, or at least the English department's kind of pushing towards students using this section here because it's harder for it to kind of be overlooked. So this is obviously help. So Success Center, and then the support. This is the school library. School library is fabulous. It's not just a library. It has the tutoring in it. It has writing resources. It has all sorts of videos and training things. It's really just, I would think of it more like a student center and a library in one, that if you were going to an on-ground college, this would be kind of like your student activity center. And pretty much, this is where any of the resources that you might need through the school are going to be. These are your course tools. In this class, in the classes I teach, you don't use a lot of these, but what you're going to want to do is check the announcements. Always read through the syllabus. That's always a good idea. So this is where your assignments are going to be. I'm going to click that in a minute. Grades, check your grades. Your teachers have 5 days after the end of the week to grade. So I would suggest just checking your grades on Friday or Saturday every week. If they're not in by Friday, wait till Saturday. If they're not in by Sunday, then, throw an email to your teacher and say, oh, excuse me, I'm wondering, if you had a chance to do the grades yet, because, sometimes there are like little glitches, and I've had it where I've done all the grades, but for some reason they're just not showing to the students. And there have been times where nobody has told me this for weeks. And then, so you think like you're being annoying if you message us and tell us, but if nobody messages me and tells me that their grades aren't showing up, then I kind of think nobody's actually checking their grades, and that actually looks bad. So the student who messages me, I know, is actually on top of things and is a good student. Once again, the library here. So assignments, these are going to be your larger assignments in the class. So the discussion boards, they're worth, a decent part of the grade, but these are your major assignments. In this class, we have a field report, an annotated bibliography, and a final portfolio. So for your final portfolio in this class, you're going to revise these first 2 pieces based on the feedback that I give you, and then you're going to include them here. A lot of students miss that and lose a lot of points, so I'm just letting you know here, if you're watching this video, then you know that. Class progress is a good place to check because it'll kind of let you know how you're doing. So I haven't done anything because 1, this class just started, and 2, I'm not actually a student, but this is my student view. But this would allow you to see, basically how you're doing in the class, an overview of all of your grades and your percentage and all of that. So that's, obviously a good thing to check out. And I want to also say one more thing. If you have questions, you can ask them here too. These are really the questions, like something that you think everybody in the class would want to know, not a question that's just for me, about you. So if you have questions about grades and things like that, you don't want to ask that here. But if you have a question like, I don't understand what it means to do this, or, in the instructions it says this, can you explain that? And if you think the other students might possibly benefit from that information, this is a good place to ask it. If you ask it right on the discussion board, it's really easy for me to miss it. There's just a lot of activity that goes on. So I do something a little different in this class, which this video is evidence of, and I make a lot of videos for my students. So unless there's some reason why you can't watch the videos, I strongly suggest you look for my videos every week. I'm human, and sometimes they don't get in until later on Monday night or even occasionally Tuesday morning. So if you have any confusion about the assignment, you might want to wait to see if that video pops up, or just head over to my YouTube channel, because I have a ton of videos there that won't make it into the class, but it'll be really helpful in this class and in other classes. So I know sometimes students who are on submarines, and maybe, if you're deployed somewhere overseas, you might not have great internet access and you might really not be able to watch the video. There's not really anything in the videos that isn't in the class, but I think I really do kind of explain it in a more succinct way, and just hearing a voice and having a person kind of elaborate and explain it is helpful. So if you can watch the videos, I strongly suggest that you do watch the videos. I think I already said that you can message me here, and I think that really covers pretty much the whole classroom. So if you still have any questions, always message me. Students often think, and I get a lot of emails that start, oh, I'm sorry to bother you. You're not bothering me. This is my job and this is my passion. This is what I love to do. I love to teach. I love to help my students. So it's not a bother at all. What's worse to a teacher is when you don't contact us and you're struggling, and then at the end of the class, you're like, I didn't understand anything, and this class was so hard. And I'm just like, why didn't you reach out to me? I would have helped you. I would have made you a video. If there's anything you want me to make a video on that has to do with this class or English, let me know. I can't give you videos on math or anything like that. They wouldn't be much help to you. But if you need a video, and this includes if you get your paper back and maybe I say, oh, you have some plagiarism in here, and you're like, I looked at my turn-in report. I don't understand where it's plagiarized. Can you make me a video? I'll happily do that. It's my alarm to pick up my kids. So I'll, bring up, just like this screen, I can bring up your paper and just go straight through it point by point and say, this is where you did this. This is where you do that. This is where you have to cite this. This is where you need quotation marks, whatever it may be. And if, with your learning style, that's something that's going to help you, just ask for it and I can give that to you. So, read my feedback first, see if you understand what I've said. But if you're confused or if you could use a little bit of extra help, I'm happy to make a video. If you're like, I never really understood how to use a semicolon, can you make a video on that? I could absolutely do that, though I would suggest Googling the oatmeal semicolon, because it's just a really funny comic that explains how to use a semicolon. But whatever it may be, anything that has to do with English, check my YouTube channel, because there's a lot there, like where I rap about commas and things like that. So check out my YouTube channel. But if you're not seeing what you want and it, has to do with something in the class or something just to do with writing in general, I will absolutely make the video for you, and then I pop it up on my YouTube channel, and it helps everyone. I'm making this video because a student was asking how to navigate the class and was struggling with that, so I figured I might as well make a video for everyone that anyone in the 110 class could use. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I am always here. It is never a bother. Thank you.